Okay, so I want to talk about, we talked about physical health. I want to talk about mental health and burnout and stress recovery for plaintiffs' lawyers, for trial lawyers. Like, is that, do trial lawyers burn out? Do they have stress?
Why do you want to talk about it?
I think it's important because I have come close to burning out. And like I've come close to
Don't
it.
you think that you shouldn't tell anybody about that?
I don't care.
Don't you think that people will judge you if you do?
I don't care.
Don't you think that people will take advantage of you if you do?
Okay, if that okay.
Don't you think that if you show weakness that you are going to be a failure as a plaintiff lawyer?
I have a poem in response to
Don't
that.
you think that you shouldn't be talking about this at all?
I have a poem in
Don't you
response
think this
to
is a
that.
bad reflection on the law firm and lawyers in general?
I have a poem.
Don't
in
you think
response.
that by talking about mental health, you are taking all of us down?
No, and I have a poem in response.
That's
to
why
it.
people don't talk about it.
Well, yeah, but like I just
I'm glad that you're talking about it.
good.
Okay, why?
Well, why do I want to talk about?
Well, you
it?
said you had a poem. Is this your poem or are you
No,
plagiarizing?
it's a poem I've memorized.
Okay.
It's a Frank O'Hara poem, and it's Ode to the Critic. And he says, I cannot possibly think of you other than you are the assassin of my orchards, lurking in the shadows, meting out conversation like Eve's first confusion between sticks and snakes. Oh, be droll, be jolly, but be temperate. Do not frighten me more than you have to. I must live forever. That's what I think of criticism. But yeah, I think all of those are the good reasons to talk about mental health because if you don't take care of mental health, you can't take care of your clients and you can't be a good lawyer.
Okay, why don't we start, however, by talking about the culture that prohibits people or is an incentive for people not to be open about their mental health?
Okay, the culture is that if you talk
As
about,
specifically lawyers and trial lawyers or people in this profession.
it's a mark of weakness. It's a mark of disability. It's like this person is untethered, exercises poor judgment. You know, if you have mental health challenges, I think that people view that as a limitation.
I mean, what did people used to say about women? Oh my gosh, women have periods and they go crazy during that time of the month. You cannot, that's why a woman should not definitely have any kind of position of power.
Yeah, because
Oh my God.
they can't be serious.
They're not
during that time.
rational.
They're not rational.
And logical.
Yeah.
But people do that, I think, one, because people are just judgmental, but the other reason is because it makes them feel like they're powerful. Like, well, I'm not. My mental health is stable. Like, well, I'm all right, but really if you dig in,
I think that a lot of the culture of law and being a lawyer is shallow and egotistical, narcissistic, and untethered from the human experience. I mean, that's my whole thing. My whole thing has been for most of my career, lawyers are real people too. I mean, I have branded this law firm, I have branded my practice, I have consistently spoke out against why do lawyers only talk about their wins in public? Why don't they talk about their losses? Their clients lost. Those clients, they still had a righteous cause. Why aren't you talking about it? The profession itself is sick a little bit, as many other professions are, but you see this microcosm of law and lawyers and what is an elite lawyer and a trial lawyer, and the bravado that goes along with that has no space for an issue such as mental health. That's my feeling.
yeah, but also because the culture breeds it, it is reinforced by what is celebrated and what is not. Failure is not celebrated. Failure is defined by terms that are, to me, I think, nonsense. And the other thing is that the reality is that the type of work, the caseload and trial work, places an enormous amount of mental pressure on a person to have to perform and meet certain expectations, and that's damaging.
Well, let's
It's
get
a
really
damaging
personal.
process.
I mean, Mo, you have shared more about your mental health journey in this podcast than probably the whole bar of Washington has ever shared publicly.
Yeah.
I mean, and maybe that's an over exaggeration, but you have done it with such grace. And how much have you suffered for being open?
I have suffered because I think that it in some circumstances has been used as a sword against me.
Yeah.
But by the way, this is not the first place I've been open about my mental health. So it's traditionally been used as a tool, a sword against me. But I think that a long time ago I made the decision that I'm not going to pretend that this is not something about me, right? That this is a component about me. I mean, to be honest, coming into the firm was a challenge. Like, you have to understand, I left a discipline, which was a craft that was not plaintiff's bar, and I came into this particular firm, a firm that is an elite firm that has exceptional types of cases that they work on. So there was a huge pressure that was on me to have to perform to do well. And so I am the type of person that meets the demands of the day. I meet them eye to eye. I don't shy away from them, and I take on a lot. And I know that process and what I had to go through to sort of establish and demonstrate that I can and do this type of work was damaging to my mental health.
Took damage.
Yeah, it took a lot of damage to my mental health.
So I think this is such a broad topic. I have a deposition, so we can't talk about this all day long.
Sure.
And maybe this is an introduction, but from my perspective, there's different elements of this situation. Number one is the human part for that person. Like, what is the person experiencing, and how do we take care of that, right? That's part number one, and maybe that's what we should limit ourselves to. Number two is, can you be an effective trial lawyer and not share your own personal journeys? And the answer is, I believe that that makes you a better trial lawyer. The only trial lawyer that's better than you is a lawyer that is a better actor than you. Yeah. Because I still, as you will recall, I believe that true authenticity is not always the best lawyer. There are some lawyers that are just the best actors. Now, they are few and far between, but I can name some of them, and I won't, that are going to be better than a person who's not as skilled, who's authentic. Now, as a merit-based person, I believe that the authentic person should always win, but it's just not what I've seen. Sometimes they do. So you don't have to give truly of yourself. You can be a faker and still make it in the world in general. Look at our president. Number two is how does mental health impact your ability to do your job and impact your clients, impact those around you, and impact those that you're networking with or working with? How does that fulfill? And number three is there ever going to be a scenario where mental health will be treasured and valued and supported versus barely tolerated, vilified, and a source of humiliation, dread, and distress? It's kind of complex. So I don't think we can cover all three of those topics.
What was the first topic?
Personal. So we talked about how do you personally take care of your mental health. And so I think that's what we should talk about. And maybe we can talk about the other things some other time.
Yeah.
But for this episode, I think we should talk about what can you do to take care of your mental health when you are in a high-stress occupation.
Journal every morning, if you can. I'm not consistent with it, I'll be honest. Is to get thoughts out of your mind into like paper. I mean, I do it on digital. And that way you're just sort of like getting the thoughts out. Sleep.
Well, let's stop with the journaling.
You're saying, what do you do? Okay,
so and go around the table. Like, some people journal, but that's not for everybody. This is for you personally.
Yeah,
this is what
you
asked
me like what I do.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you journal. Number two, you sleep.
Sleep is important, like making sure.
And do you get great sleep? Did you get great sleep?
I'm still sometimes waking up at 2 and I'm thinking about work.
Okay.
But I'm able to go back to sleep better.
So you've made sleep and journaling a priority so far. What else?
Talking to people, like a smaller group of people, before I was maybe too broad, and about how I'm feeling. Like, hey, look, I'm really having some challenges, and I want to just get your perspective about, am I over assessing, under assessing. Am I on the right track? So having a very small core group of people I can communicate with.
So you'd say a safe group.
Safe group, yeah.
So someone's safe to talk to.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's about it. I mean, exercise, which is an important one. Like that exercise hit, like when you're lifting weights or playing basketball, or the endorphin hit of like exercise, like really helps my mental health.
What about you, Mike?
Like you said, exercise is important. I think trying to like you were saying, how you wake up at 2 a.m. and then you're able to get back to sleep, unplugging from it at least a little bit, like trying to, like when I go home after work now, I will put my phone down and go do something else that doesn't involve me interacting with the technology that I do during the daytime so much. So just taking some time to unplug yourself from the digital life that we have right now.
Yeah.
And like you said, communication is key to keeping your mental health. So whether it's with a therapist or your partner or a friend or a group, talking out your problems as much as you can sooner rather than later is going to help stuff from festering.
What about you, Karen?
So I tend to ignore the stress and just keep going.
Terrible.
Which is supposed to, I mean, I guess it's pretty terrible.
Well,
But yeah, I mean, so.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to judge you, but like I mean that.
No,
in a kind
I
way.
wanted to say
I mean
that,
in
and
a
I
kind
wanted to
way.
say that because I think that's what a lot of people do.
Yeah.
And so but I think that's my baseline.
Yeah.
My baseline is that I feel like it's not fair, honestly, because people I love are not like this. But when I wake up, I'm just ready to go and I'm happy. Like my baseline is very positive. My partner, Loris, is a super positive person.
He's great.
And it's just like that, but that's me. Like if I was a dog, I would know. I just wake up and like, let's go. In general, I seem, when I'm here at work, people always say I'm really, really intense. And I don't really think about myself being intense, but obviously I'm intense. That doesn't mean I'm not happy. I'm just like focused. But I really love what I do. So I have this overall, my baseline is really good. The problem that I have is that I just keep going, and I have learned through counseling or coaching or people complaining to me that I have to back off and assess and acknowledge. That's my weak spot, because I can just keep going and like frame the whole world. Like, how did I go to discos and as a person that didn't do drugs, smoke, or drink for years and loved it?
Discipline. I mean,
No, I just blocked out all the stuff I didn't want to see.
I see.
So this is my coping strategy for
That's
for trauma. My person says that I had trauma when I was a young person, probably from my chaotic mother, and I have a lot of coping strategies, and that is what I do. Now, there comes times when I realize where's my happy baseline? Why am I here at 10 o'clock at night still working? Darn it, I wanted to watch another issue of such and such, So there has to be something to jar me out of it. And then, but I can tell you, I do not sleep appropriately at times. Normally, I don't.
I know.
I don't sleep a lot, and I try, and then I just give up. Yeah. So, but I sleep all the way through, you start to know like what you pay attention to it. I'm also not. I don't know that I'm embarrassed if I'm ready to have a meltdown. I typically announce it. I will write a letter to the firm and say, I have had it. I am not going to keep doing, and I do a proclamation process. Then it creates havoc for everybody, and everyone tries to figure out, like, how can we keep her going? That's how my mental health works in the workplace, and it's an odd thing. But you've seen it happen.
I've seen all of this
I
happen.
make the declaration. I made it to get you. I cannot keep doing this.
She declared, I'm getting a mo.
And okay, we got to get a Denny and we got to get a Mo.
Yeah.
That was the decisions. Great decisions for the law firm.
Yeah.
But that's how it happened.
I do want to say I've gotten really good advice about like waking up or feeling a moment of stress is focusing on what your mind is saying to you, because it's really your thoughts are speaking. And if you articulate what your thoughts are speaking, you can just, the one tool is to reframe it.
Can't we, though, also say, because remember, we first just talked about taking care of yourself and mental health. Can we all acknowledge that clearly my way is not good? Because obviously I must have felt stress after that trial to end up in the hospital.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Right. But you can bring it up with me because I'm not, like, I don't think that this is a good, like, if
No,
my
yeah,
kids
you're
listen to this,
shoving everything
they
inside,
will
cost
get
you to
very
have
mad
high
at-
blood
yeah,
pressure.
they will
and
get very
all
mad
the
at me.
problems. Yeah.
Now, I will enunciate it. I am very good at talking to people. I'm bad at confronting my own family, but I'm good at confronting everybody else in the whole wide world.
You're very good at giving advice.
And super good at giving advice.
You're
I just
very
don't take
good.
it.
Yeah, but it's hard to take your own
But
advice.
I will
Why?
be the first to tell you that
Yeah.
my way is not the good way, and that I respect you. I respect you
Yeah.
way more than I respect my way of doing it. But a lot of people do it my way that are lawyers.
Well, I did it your way for a long time. It's
Yeah.
just, after a while, your body starts to fall apart. And you got to figure something else out.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And that's
So-
when, that's the
They
thing.
do
Like
go together. They do go
Yeah.
together.
trying to, I think there's a time for shoving this stuff inside, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's not a long-term thing.
No, and here's a good point for that is we have to shut it inside.
Yeah.
And so there's a story that I'll never, it's a story, this happened when I was working with Pat LaPlay. I represented a father who had raised a child basically in a log cabin that he had built. Mm-hmm. The child's mother had abandoned them when he was months old, had just left. And then the child had grown up. He was 17 years old, coming back like the last months of school, and they were riding in the backseat of a truck. The flatbed. Remember how people used to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This was like 25 years ago. And there's a crash. They were ejected. He was killed. And there was a dispute. The mother came back and wanted as much as the father. But the father had raised this child by himself. So this is one of the only times in my career where I've had a dispute between parents of a deceased child. So we had to have a full-on arbitration. And telling the story of the father and the pictures, like there are pictures of him chopping wood with the child on his backpack. He raised this kid in the woods, basically, and was just the most loving. I can get teary just even thinking about it. And I can remember doing the closing argument and, putting on the statement, doing the closing argument, and never can you cry. I was trained, you don't cry. As a lawyer, you are a professional. And I didn't. And I gave it and I walked out, and then I just broke down. And that's what you have to do. I did it all throughout. I did that all throughout the Ride the Ducks trial, which was there was one person who came, and her whole testimony was basically of her crying, screaming. She couldn't say anything articulate. One other person came from Asia in fear, had not ever come back here, came here. We had to stop the trial 3 times because she was out in the hall. We were trying to console her. We were trying to help her get back in. Could barely incoherently testify. You have to suppress it all and get through it, and then you can only then let it out. And even then, I should have probably waited till the end of the day. I could not. It was so overwhelming. So it sets the stage when that's how you're trained. You can't start weeping in the middle of a trial.
No, you can't start weeping in the middle of the trial, but there is nothing wrong with showing some emotion.
But it's
in a trial.
hard.
Because
because you have to
I was gonna
intentionally
say,
regulate
If
it.
you want to shed a tear, you might be able to do that, but you don't want to lose it.
Yeah, the jury's got to see that you have an emotional investment in the case and in the story. And I think that there's
See what I did here? Like
Oh,
I
yeah,
have
that's
like
fine.
I welled up,
That's
but
fine.
nothing came
No,
out.
you didn't
Because
do it.
that's how I can do that.
Yeah.
And that they can't complain about. Her eyes welled up. That's not a crime. Now, crying, a judge might get mad at you because you're, supposedly playing to the sympathies of a jury. But it's that regulation of us. It's an emotional regulation. And I was and especially a young attorney, a new attorney, a female attorney that was used to, if I want to cry, I'm going to cry. I used to cry. I cry. I went and saw The Goat, the movie The Goat.
Yeah.
The cartoons. Oh my God, I was bawling. Like, I will cry at commercials. I used to cry at everything if it hits my spot. I had to learn you cannot do that. So when you start doing that and that fear takes over, like that's not appropriate. And and you just look at all other circumstances of life where you start regulating yourselves and it's not safe for you. You can't do that.
Yeah.
So then you get to our age. And all of us have heart issues.
And everybody's mixed up.
I know, but I have started crying a lot more.
Oh my God, all the time. He comes in my room, I'm like, are you gonna cry again?
I mean, seriously, I've started crying a lot more, and I'm proud of myself. I got to tell you, it feels flippin' good.
Yeah.
I mean, it just feels like.
Hey, if it makes you feel better, there's no reason not to do it.
Yeah, man, it just feels like I am cleansing the soul. So
Okay, we got to wrap this one up.
yeah, so
All we did is talk about.
personal, what we do, but the next part is we're gonna talk about the second topic.
So wait, what is our conclusion for people?
You got to find a own personal curated way to manage stress.
You got to
And
have an
use
outlet.
and use it.
Don't be like me.
Yeah.
No.